Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Wednesday. How time flies. It is already the middle of the week. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that you are ready for the amazing story that we have for you today. I'm excited for it, and KATEY House did bring us. KATEY House did bring us one before, and I think it was the box detect. The box detect. I'm trying to remember the title, but I think that was it. And then, but this time she comes up with this one with DINARA MIRTALIPOVA, and this one is called "Woven of the World." Beautiful one indeed, and I hope that too you get a copy of this from your library and get to look at these amazing illustrations and as you weave through the story, so to speak. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I'm excited to bring this one, and it is coming to you from Chronicle Books of San Francisco. A big thank you to them, as always, for allowing us to share material here on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. And glad we're here together. Woven of the World coming up very shortly. As always, please let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Of course, if you do have company, and of course, if you're alone, you're still welcome here to the Storytime community. Thank you so much for being here with us. Happy Wednesday, wherever you are. And yes, just a reminder too, as you saw earlier, that Jack the Library Cat is coming to Storytime with Marietta May 11th. 2023. So excited for that one. And as you know, initially was supposed to come the book was supposed to come out or be published. Publishing day was supposed to be March 2nd, but that has changed due to supply chain issues. But it is coming. Jack the Library Cat is coming to Storytime, and so is Marietta. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And of course, two beautiful lineup that we have this week. I hope that you are ready. I hope that you've enjoyed the ones that we've read so far. We've had the Snail, and of course, Only the Best will do for Ann Lowe's. And then we still have Guitar Genius, Seen and Unseen, and of course today we're looking at Woven of the World. And of course too, a big thank you for this beautiful picture that was submitted from Massachusetts, out in Groton, Massachusetts. Thanks to you, Kristen Costa, and of course for this wonderful picture, and of course the amazing Miles and Owen. Thank you so much for sharing this one. Thank you for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you indeed for that one. And of course, good morning to you. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Tara McNamara, Erin and Clara in sunny Massachusetts. The sun reflected off the snow is very bright. Oh, I can imagine. Day for shades for sure. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you for sharing that as well. Probably a good reminder. I'm sure people don't need it, but if you're out there driving and moving about, probably a good idea to have your shades on, right? Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for joining in, and appreciate you. And I hope that too today does it. You're having a break from the snowfall, just snow left over from yesterday. Is it? Thank you so much for joining in. Appreciate you. And good to see the pictures as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Amanda West, how are you doing today? Sarah and Nathan out in cloudy Illinois. Puppy Zoe is napping while listening to this morning after her first busy day of puppy school last night. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope puppy school went well. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for sharing that milestone with us. Thank you so much indeed for being here. Nathan and of course Sarah, thank you for joining us. And Amanda West, sending you love. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Good morning to you, Soraya. How are you doing today? And of course, Sharon Lungo right here in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. I hope that you are ready for what we have today. And this one is called Woven of the World. This one from KATEY House and DINARA Metalipova. I'm getting that name correct now. And we're reading this one with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Thank you indeed, and I'm excited to share this one. Coming up very shortly. Get comfortable, get cozy. Go get what you need. Get your tea, get your coffee if you're a coffee drinker. Get everything that you need to make this story time better. Get your snack. Yes, go, 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 go. Thank you so much for joining in. Get your juice. Thank you. I'll see you in a little bit after this short break. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time.
Hi, my name's Christine Mitchell Adams. I'm a mama and an artist, and I believe that books are a great way for children to have access to the arts on an everyday basis, which is why I believe that programs like Storytime with Mr. LaMotta are so important.
Thank you so much. Yes, Christine Mitchell Adams out of Vermont, Burlington, Vermont. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, indeed, the arts are important. And I hope that, every child gets to have access to them. Yes, let's make the right decisions and make sure that arts are included in school curriculum. Thank you so much for joining in today. And thank you, Christine Mitchell Adams, for that wonderful reminder. Our book for today is Woven of the World. This one is written by KATEY House, illustrations by DINARA Metalipova, and we're reading it with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Are you ready? Isn't that beautiful? Let me show you too. That's a slightly different cover under there, as you can see. Yeah, just this beautiful, beautiful cover indeed. If you get that book, well, library ones might be taped down, but hopefully if you get one, you can get to see underneath the sleeve and see how beautiful that is. All right, are we ready? Here we go. Woven of the World. Words by KATEY House. Art by DINARA Metalipova. Read with permission and published by Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Clack, clack, swish. Clack, clack, swish. Pooh back. Bobbin and hurdle. Bobbin and heddle. Foot pedal, no slack. I must say too, there was a lot of terminology that I had to look up in here. Not much of a weaver, as you can tell. Clack, clack, swish, pull back. Bobbin and heddle, foot pedal, no slack. What are you making? What's that sound? I listen as I am weaving to the rhythm of the loom. I imagine skeins of history unfurled across the room. I imagine skeins of history unfurled across the room, wrapping me in warm tradition, crossing borders, spanning years, as the clack then swish of loom song carries stories to my ears. It sings a song of silken threads coaxed from a white cocoon. A dynasty of secret skills lives on inside its tune. Oh, yeah. What are some things that we do that make us think of our heritage, make us think of our culture? It sings a song of silken threads coaxed from a white cocoon. A dynasty of secret skills lives on inside its tune. Slack, slack, swish. Slack, slack, swish. Pull back. It sings of flaxen fibers spun by fingers deft and proud. Threads destined for a dancer's robes or for a pharaoh's shroud. Yes. Such an important tool. Such a rich history. It sings of flaxen fibers spun by fingers deft and proud. Threads destined for a dancer's robes or for a pharaoh's shroud. It sings a city packed with looms, a wonder to behold, of cloaks and rags, of cloaks and rags for warmth and prayer in colors rich and bold. Yes, it sings a city packed with looms, a wonder to behold, of cloaks and rugs for warmth and prayer in colors rich and bold. A song of stirred travelers who call each new place home, of nomads with a loom to string. No matter where they roam. Oh, yes, indeed. A song of stirred travelers who call each new place home, of nomads with a loom to string, no matter where they roam. Yes. I want a mobile loom too. Oh. In these echoes, youth and elder, one to learn, one to guide, past much more than yarn between us as the loaded shadow glides. Oh, so true. In these echoes, youth and elder, one to learn and one to guide, past much more than yarn between us as the loaded shadow glides. With clack and swish, with heart and hand, we layer row on row. Our loom sings tales of fabric, friendship, families long ago. Yes. In these echoes, youth and elder, one to learn, one to guide, past much more than yarn between us as the loaded shadow glides. With clack and swish, with heart and hand, we layer row on row. Our loom sings of tales of fabric, friendship, families long ago. Yeah. It sings of bundled threads on frames, each wrapped and dipped and dyed, meticulously matched and draped to dress a beaming bride. Yes, indeed. Look at how beautiful that is. All those colors. Love it. It sings of bundled threads on frames, each wrapped and dipped and dyed, meticulously matched and draped to dress a beaming bride. Yes, indeed. A song of mountain villages, a girl with steady hands, her backstrap loom tied to a tree, her heart tied to the land. Ah, yes. A song of mountain villages, a girl with steady hands, her backstrap loom tied to a tree, her heart tied to the land. Love that. It sings of pioneering souls who kissed their friends goodbye, a trail of yarn behind them, and a sail against the sky. Yes. It sings of pioneering souls who kissed their friends goodbye, a trail of yarn behind them, and a sail against the sky. Of honor sung in pattern, story told in shape and line, color chosen with intention, spirit sown in each design. Yes. The loom sings of honor sung in pattern, story told in shape and line, color chosen with intention, spirit sown in each design. Our loom sings love and artistry, passed down from hand to hand, of ties that bind us, one and all, no matter where we stand. Yes, our loom sings love and artistry, passed down from hand to hand, of ties that bind us, one and all, no matter where we stand. And so I know. What do we know? And so I know. We are all tapestries woven of the world. We are lifelines interlacing yarn of many sources swirled. In our patterns, there is purpose. In our softness, strength abides. Warmth and beauty still unfolding, growing as the shuttle glides. Yes, I know, and I believe it. We are all tapestries, woven of the world. We are lifelines interlacing, yarn of many sources swirled. In our patterns, there is purpose. In our softness, strength abides. Warmth and beauty still unfolding, growing as the shuttle slides. Clack, clack, swish, poo back. Clack, clack, swish, poo back. Bobbin and heddle, foot pedal, no slack. Clack, clack, swish. Clack, clack, swish. And that is the end of our story. And there's a lot more in here too. If you want to learn a little bit more about weaving, if you don't know already, there's lots to explore in here. The language of the loom and all the different things that KATEY Howes mentions in here. Just wanted to share that. And yeah, there's also bits to explore more in the back. So if you do have the opportunity to get this book, look at all do check out the back matter of the book, because there's so much more. We won't go in it today because of time, but there's so much more for you to explore to come to a better understanding of the story that KATEY Howes shares in this one. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime. This has been Storytime for today. Maybe let's just go quickly and read the author's note, just quickly, and give us a little more understanding as well. So please bear with me. Author's note. This is by KATEY Howes. It says, with this book, Dinara the illustrator, and I have tried to celebrate and honor the textiles of many traditions and cultures, while also creating our own tapestry of influences and originality, of images and words, of metaphors and facts, We recognize that, like most fabrics, it may have weak spots. We have done our best to approach the topic with curiosity and care. Though we could not remotely highlight every weaving tradition, we tried to show a thoughtful variety because weaving can have spiritual, cultural, and personal significance. We have worked to be both representative and respectful, and many people have helped. I am grateful for them and for you, our reader. Reader, I hope that the child narrating this book speaks to you as she explores the weaver's traditions and art that came before her. She begins to appreciate the many influences woven into her life, the ways she is connected to people and traditions near and far, and the history in her everyday. She learns from her elder. She builds her skill at the loom. She watches the pattern and purpose of a woven item grow, revealed slowly, row on row. Reader, I hope and I imagine that your pattern and purpose are unfolding too, that you are like the child in the book, like a weaving on a loom, like me. You probably don't know yet how you will turn out, but you are most certainly a work of art. Tied to the world by many threads, your warmth and strength and beauty growing to the rhythm of the loom. Clack, clack, swish, pull back. Clack, clack, swish, pull back. Bobbin and heddle, foot pedal, no slack. Thank you so much for joining me today, and just thought we should read that part as well. Woven of the World. This one coming to us from KATEY, HOWES and DINARA, MIRTALIPOVA, and of course Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. I will be back after this short break. Join me on the other side. Thank you for being here with us.
Hey, this is Timothy Goodspeed of the Soapbox Salute. I'm the one who wrote Storytime's theme song. If you'd like to hear more of my protest folk music, you can check out the links below on Instagram or at my website. You are watching Storytime with Mr. LaMotta.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. Welcome back. Thank you, Timothy Goodspeed. Thank you so much, my brother. Indeed, the song, the Storytime theme song, Tim did it. And of course, he also has a brand new band that is out. They're putting out more music. So if you want more of his folk music, please do. Protest folk music, please do follow him at Timothy Dixon, the Soapbox Salute on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. Woven of the World. And I think there's no truer statement today than what KATEY HOWES says in here. And she says, reader, I imagine that your pattern and purpose are unfolding too. Yes, our stories are ongoing. That you are like the child in the book, like a weaving on a loom, like me. You probably don't know yet how you will turn out. No, but you are most certainly a work of art. You are most certainly a work of art, tied to the world by many threads. Yes, warmth and strength and beauty growing to the rhythm of the loom. Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime today. You are indeed a work of art, and may your connections be strong and get stronger and stronger. Thank you so much for being here with me on Storytime. We are not done. We're back tomorrow with another story. This one is seen through the lenses of 3 photographers, and this one is called Seen and Unseen, with Dorothea Lange, Toyo Miyatake, Ansel Adams photographs reveal about the Japanese-American incarceration. Yes, one of the dark periods of American history, but we'll be looking at that tomorrow from the lenses of these 3 amazing photographers. And what story does that tell? Thank you so much for joining me on Storytime. Please join us tomorrow for Seen and Unseen. Let us see who was with us this morning enjoying that wonderful story. Thank you for joining in, Tara McNamara, and of course Clara and Erin out there in Massachusetts. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. And yes, indeed, with a little reminder there, the sun reflected on the snow is very bright. Yes, indeed, protect those eyes. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Sending you love from all the way out here in Oakland down there to Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. Good morning to you, Amanda West, and of course, Sarah and Nathan. Zoe, I hope that we did not wake you up today. Thank you so much for joining in. Enjoy more of Puppy School, and of course, happy to be here with you all. Thank you so much for joining in. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday out there in Illinois, where today it is cloudy. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning to you, Soraya, and of course, Sharon Lungo. I hope you enjoyed the story that we had for you today. Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, fabric seems to be a theme too this week. Thank you so much for joining in. And Soraya, I hope that you enjoyed that one. Thank you so much for being here with me, friends. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Please do not forget that we do have an amazing lineup this week. And of course, we've just looked at the third book this week, and we have 2 more to go: Guitar Genius and Seen and Unseen. Join us for that one tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am glad that we were here together. And of course, Jack the Library Cat is coming to Storytime, of course, with Marietta as well on May 11th. So keep an eye out for that one coming to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Still time to pre-order Jack the Library Cat. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. And remember, too, that you can find Storytime at storytimewithmrlimada@gmail.com. And, of course, you can find us at storytimewithmrlimada on storytimewithmrlimada.com. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And we will happily come and do Storytime in your area. Thank you so much for joining in. This has been Storytime for today. This has been a wonderful story for today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow when we are back for Seen and Unseen. But today, though, we were looking at Woven of the World. If there's one thing that you take away from today, I hope that you remember as you're walking in this world today, as you're moving in the world today, as you're being in the world today, that you are an art piece. Thank you so much for joining in. You are a work of art, and yes, life is in progress. We might not know yet how it will turn out, but indeed, you are special. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Much love from me. I will see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Bye-bye.
Storytime with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, Storytime with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing Storytime with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, Storytime with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing Time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Storytime with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing